Stream is coming back up, folks. I'm hoping this will fix your issues. If it does not, please bear this in mind. We cannot fix the problem. It is JTV's end. There is a button that says, are you having video problems? I believe it's under the video, if I remember correctly. Click that button, fill in a report that goes directly to JTV, and they will fix the problem. Complaining about it in the channel does not fix the problem. Just the tip. That's amusing. We had some of the guys from goodgame.ru come in and ask, can we stream? And I'm like, well, it's the last game. Why not? And then said, oh, have to go. WCG final. See ya. And then just left.
Yeah.
Well, okay then. DDE's like, I do not understand. No, neither do I.
Russians. All right. Go. See if these players are ready.
In Soviet Russia,
Yeah.
I don't even know.
DD is ready. White Rot is ready. The last map between these two fantastic players is going to be ESL Metalopolis. Nice all-round map for both these players. No close background like we saw earlier in the WCG Ukraine.
Yep.
It's quite painful to watch.
Game streams you in Soviet Russia, folks. It's as simple as that. Metalopolis, the map that Blizzard hates. Because there's not enough rocks on it. Let's go.
Maybe they might implement it with gold, rocks on the gold.
Yeah, I'm expecting that, actually. I'm absolutely expecting that in Season 4. Metalopolis 2 is going to have rocks on the gold, and there's going to be rocks in the main, and there's going to be rocks on the rocks.
Rocks on the rocks.
Rock on. What can I say? Okay. Gods of the Blizzard scoreboard, hear me. Please place it in the right position.
Will they listen?
We're about to find out.
When White Ra's PC, the Ukrainian PC from WCG loads.
He's peddling. The gods have answered our call! Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you White Ra. He's in the yellow trunks, and he is playing Protoss to the east of this particular map versus his opponent, DDE. I like that name. You can get really dramatic with that.
Yeah, you can slow it down and lower your voice and everything.
You could whisper it in a sensual jazz style. DDE.
Do anything, really.
Yeah. He's in the red trunks, playing Terran to the north.
What other styles can you do DDE in?
We could do it.
Like you're a jukebox and like put my £1 in.
Well, yeah, it's like which DDE style? Put it on shuffle. Yeah, we could do it in a sort of really, really exciting style called DDE. A sort of WWE style. I can just see it. This match is scheduled for one fall. In the red corner, we have DDE, weighing 87 pounds.
Yeah, because he's a gamer.
Indeed. Not exactly the heavyweight in this particular. White Ra, I wouldn't call White Ra heavyweight either, but he's very tall. Scary tall.
He's very tall. He's quite skinny, actually, White Ra, to be honest. I think he spends too much time playing rather than eating or traveling. Well, he's quite a skinny individual.
He likes the pool as well, as we've seen.
We have
sun
seen
lounges.
Banana hammock here and there.
Yeah, and why not?
Why not?
If you're White Ra, why
not?
not?
You can do anything when you have that ID.
They see him balling. They love him. What can I say? Nobody hates the White Ra. And if they do, we will hunt them down and kill them.
It's like if Deezer wore a banana hammock. You know, it's just
Maybe
not the
people
same
might
effect.
like him. Well, I don't know. People might like him if he acted that way. Oh, there you go.
Trolling streamers and wearing banana hammocks. Sick life you have.
I would have a bit more respect for him if he did that. You know, he just needs to do it and start wearing a selection of hats, and then the community will rapidly swing around in his favor. We know the community is a fickle beast. Oh, White Ra, I think not. No, DDE tries to get a little bit of harassment on there.
No Marine. Really interesting here. What are you planning? Is he going straight reactor, which I think he may? Oh no, okay, that was weird. That was really weird.
That's a late Marine, isn't it?
Yeah, I think because the probe should have left by now because that's when the Marine should have finished. I think that's what he was banking on. But then the probe kind of stayed. So
it's a Macarax.
This is interesting.
But it's a weird Macarax. This is not the kind of Macarax I would usually expect on Metalopolis. Macarax, by the way, known for Maca Prime, of course. But this proxy barracks right here, the positioning is weird. This is a 3... no, I was going to say, I almost thought that was another barracks coming down. No. Is this a 3 racks all in? Like, no. But the positioning of that barracks is highly unusual.
Yeah. I mean, he's gone straight for that Marauder. We want to get concussive shells in him. He's going to go 2 racks pressure. And from what White Raw has seen so far with that probe, the thing is, though, that the probe is still alive.
It lives.
Still
It
alive.
lives. And it's going to spot only one. It's going to see there's something researching. And it's going to say, is there an expansion coming down? Where's your expansion? Where's your money?
Kill.
White Raz probe from hell right here. But he'll be able to scout. He's going to juke. He's going to juke. Will this be a Dota-style juke? Will he be able to get around? No, he will not. It's a shame. There you go. He needs to play a little bit more Hon, I think, and then he'll... Actually, no. That's the equivalent of going into the bushes right there in League of Legends, so he needs to be playing that.
So a lot of Marauder pressures coming out now. 2 barracks Marauder pressure. And White Ra not fooling around. Not going to 1-gate expo. He's going to throw down these 3 gateways on 1 gas, which means that he's probably going to be looking for a robotics facility as well, which means... Warp Prism, because that's what he does all the time. So as he reaches 100 gas now, we'll have to see, does he throw down that robotics facility? I suppose he's going to. He loves this style on this map as well.
Pressure coming in right here. A couple of SCVs in the mix. Could be looking for some light bunker work, and it will find no expansion to pressure. It will be able to place some bunkers at the bottom, but I very much doubt White Ra's going to let that get up. He has a sentry there, so Force Field could very easily be deployed. Going to wait.
Oh, nice by DDE there. Moves down just in time. Really nice.
He was almost baiting, baiting the force field, I feel, there. That was nicely done there by him. And yes, he will be delayed for the time being. And these guys are not actually fighting. No, they are repairing each other, as you can see. And he does have a second sentry there, and that was nice. He was able to at least nullify the effect of this one Marauder right here. That said, he doesn't have a lot of firepower at his disposal. Sentry trying to work its way through the Marauder armor. Another sentry taken out. There's the warp in right there to defend, and that should hold unless this SCV does something highly heroic.
Yeah, and now White Ra's going to expand, but 2 Marauders there as well, keeping the pressure on, and they're consistently keeping the pressure on. DD behind this can expand very, very easily now, as we're going to see very, very shortly, but the pressure from these Marauders is delaying the expansion, may force White Ra to throw down that Warp Prism, but at the moment he needs every kind of resource he can get into these units, and it's delaying the expo so much.
Yeah, it really is. I'm liking DDE's pressure a lot, and the placement of that barracks was unorthodox, and it looks like it has paid dividends, regardless of the fact that White Ra did go with the 3 gateways because he wasn't sure exactly what was going on. And White Ra forced into this defensive position. This is, of course, a pure Marauder force, which is good against both of these things, so that's something to consider. The meat shield of White Ra is rapidly melting, and that's a good focus fire right there by DDE. Takes down one Stalker, looks for another. However, White Ra is able to get a lot of good hits in there. That one falls to pieces, drives him into the corner, and a good hold and defense. But as you said, that did hold off that expansion quite significantly. But look at this.
Yeah, it's good. It's a nice build. Nice pressure from DDE. It does get the expansion up. And
the thing is, that has not been building at all. Did White Ra somehow snipe off the SCV?
No, what it was is that he just thought, well, I don't know, what he should have kind of pulled...
Thinking about a counterattack, maybe.
He pulled the SCV off to build the bunker just in case there was a counterattack, because he did manage to get the information that there is a lot of units warping in. He noticed that the 4th gate warped in as well, and he saw the warp-ins from that and was like, all right, there's 4 gates, you know, that can be a lot of counterattack pressure, so he thought the bunker was more relevant to
he pulled it off there. Yeah, it was interesting. It delayed that command center quite significantly to the point where that's almost nullified the time advantage he had right there. The Nexus is almost caught up to that.
Yeah, the probe count, he's been chrono boosting the probes a little bit, is at 34 to 29 SCVs, double to command, but he's ahead in terms of, well, he's getting the engineering bay, he's going to be able to go for that immediate +1, and also for the turret, which is kind of where Tilo fell down, kind of going for this heavy barracks pressure, and kind of forgot about the engineering bay, which is going to throw down the turret very, very shortly for sure. A couple of bunkers have been added on as well, because we are looking at a lot of chrono boost being gone and sent into the 4 gateways, which means a lot of units are being warped in right now.
Yep, let's see
no
exactly.
Probes in production, so...
Yeah, but pressure could very well be coming in right there. The 3 bunkers being put down by DDE. However, this attack will hit before this bunker completes, which will be very nice for him. And there we go. We've got DDE trying to hold this one with Marauders. That's his strategy, and that actually gave him the time he needed to get those bunkers up. Those force fields preventing the Marauders from going in. They're going to quickly jump into the bunkers and rain down some fire right there on White Ra's attacking forces. White Ra's gone back to building probes and is now putting down a Twilight Council. So I don't think he's under any illusions that he can throw himself up against this line over and over again.
No, he knows that he can't bust it, and that was very smart from DDE to get the double bunkers up there to help it kind of push the number up to 3. And
Good
White Raw
number.
immediately sees, oh, you're Marauder heavy. What's good against Marauders? Well, charge lots.
Yep.
So he throws down a Twilight Council. Is going to be going for Zealot speed very, very shortly here, as that's the best defense against all these Marauders. They are so cost effective. And once their upgrades start flowing on Zealots, when they get +1, +2, +3, they are the most cost-effective game that Protoss can have in this matchup because it's like 100 minerals for a Zealot, and they are so good.
Yeah, they're good against both Marines and Marauders as well, so that's something to consider. And if DDE is manipulating his opponent once again into going down one route and then switching his build to another, which, I mean, he's going more Marine heavy now than he was Marauder. He's not actually building any Marauders at the moment. He's throwing down a Starport as well. Then I don't know if that's going to work out for him because it looks like he's gone right through to Templar Archives. This is not Chargelet yet, and actually he's had the gas for quite some time to go Chargelet, and he hasn't done it. He's going for Templar.
Yeah, this is interesting. He's just going to kind of completely neglect the fact that he can go charge. Let's have a look what he does with his Templar Archive now. If he immediately goes for Storm, yes, he does, grabs it immediately.
Smart.
And is going to start getting High Templar into the game, warping them in now as well, start to build up that energy. And this is going to be cool because there's no Ghost Academy. There is nothing to prevent this. And he hasn't done this yet in the series whatsoever, has not brought in High Templar at all, which is going to really change things around.
I'm willing to put it out there and say that was DDE trying to manipulate his opponent into going down one route again, and this time it looks like White Raw has turned the tables by going down a completely different route, and this is going to really hurt. Marine Marauder Medevac versus Storms, not so great.
Yeah, I mean, he did get a scan down and see the Twilight Council, so he's like, all right, well, I guess we'll follow us next. It's like Zealot Charge. They're like the same kind of thing I fell into there. Well, no, that's not going to happen here.
The Scouting Factory might make its way in there, though. No, he's turned it around. That is unfortunate. He could have afforded to go all the way in there. He would have seen the Templar Archives. He does not have that information, and as a direct result, he is not reacting to it.
And this push is going to come out now to kind of hit usually around the same time that third base is put down, as we can see, and the same time that Zealot Charge is near completion. So a timing attack coming out from DDE now, especially as +1 is finished. But the problem is, these High Templars, and he has no idea. Look at these Storms getting ready to go down.
Oh, DDE moves out of that for the most part, charges a few units in there to try and do some damage. He did at least see them a fraction of a second before the Storms went off thanks to the Medevacs. So Storm damage is not horrendous at the minute. Some damage being done, but nothing major. And an interesting pick from DDE, he's going for an armor as opposed to immediately throwing it down. There's the Ghost Academy.
Yeah, it needs to bring in Ghost immediately to play against these High Templar, otherwise it will not work. White Raw, under a bit of pressure, does morph an Archon. Does not have time to kind of regenerate the mana of these High Templars. Third base is up and has been scouted from DDE.
Vulnerability.
So he's definitely going to be looking to go there. Will White Raw be able to get there? He does not have Zealot Charge. He does not have upgrades. And DDE is going to... No, this is going down.
That's dead. That's dead. Nice timing there by DDE. Heading in there, immediately annihilating the Nexus.
Fast.
It's a lot of units. They've got +1. He tends to get this +1 quite nice and early. And a big ball like that, huge amount of damage potential on a stim.
And look at this. Zealots all been walked in to deal with this little pressure here. Stim Marines just run past. But this is pretty difficult for White Raw now. He's having to take the gold as a bit of a kind of a, oh my god, I'm falling behind in economy.
Yep.
But the same thing is, this nice little army here from DDE could get caught off guard by Storms here.
Potentially, there's not a huge number of Storms, and the thing is, DDE so fast, and he deliberately stims through that Storm to try and pick off that High Templar. So that means that there's only one left, so we're not getting another Archon out of that. However, this force is quite worn down, and is looking to try and take refuge up here on the higher ground. There's a force field to divide it, but they are now able to fight from the high ground, so that actually ended up working against White Raw somewhat. Several losses there, including the Archon.
Yeah, now he's just about to finish up this +1 armor. He's waiting for this units to come down, but, you know, the Zealots and everything, the engagements from White Raw in these past 3 games have been really poor, to be honest. Not really looking for the best fights available to him. And we do have a drop about to come into the main base of White Raw. Currently does have 2 cannons because it is close by. He realizes that threat, so that will help out a lot. But at the same time, these units are going to kill these gateways and pylons so fast.
And here comes DDE to attack this base as well. And White Raw's pulled all of his forces back, which means that gold is down too. He did walk right into that Storm. A lot of damage done there, but that is toast.
Another base gone down. Meanwhile, the third base for DDE up and running. It's at 66 probes versus a miserable, currently 50 probes for White Raw. That is so low at 17 minutes in the game, and he cannot get a third up to actually do anything here. And DDE outplaying White Raw. coming back from 2-0 down to look in a fantastic position in this final game.
It's pretty damn heroic effort, I've got to say, from DDE right here, and it's looking ever more likely that we're going to see a rematch in the finals with SCi3 versus DDE. But we'll see what happens. Don't count White Ra out yet. He's definitely not out of the game, no question.
No way whatsoever. He's getting a third base up now. He's taking a fourth as well. DD does have an advantage with his economy, but Chrono Boost can easily change that. And a simple storm. In this matchup, one AMP, one storm can change everything.
Yes, it can.
So even though a player looks so far ahead, if he misses an EMP or walks into a huge storm, that's it, game over. It's such a fragile matchup, which is why it's so good.
Yeah, we'll see how it works out. We'll have a look at army composition. We see that army supply, very, very equal. It's the worker supply that's really been hurting White Ra lately. These 3 fully operational bases are all on orbital commands right here. And I would imagine DD will try and gear up to take a 4th. In the meantime, though, there's a double expansion right here from White Ra. Re-expanding to this 3rd, then taking his 4th. Did try and take the goal, which was nullified right there. We have a look at the losses. White Ra has lost significantly more resources, and that's going to hurt him in the long run. He's going to need to get all of these bases up and then mine as hard as he can.
That is so good. That scan there, that
it's
one
good
robotics
timing.
bay is like the worst thing for a turn to deal with. The sudden tech switch, because of Chrono Boost, because you can get double robotics facility and switch into Colossus so fast. It's like hardly any time to react and get Vikings out, and you can lose the game there and then. That scan was just perfect. Just as robotics bay finishes, the timing was of course by luck that he threw a scan down there, but that information changes everything, because now he knows I have about 1 minute to go and do a lot of damage before any Colossus come out.
Oh yes, and he's going to have to clean up this little bit of harassment at the moment, which is a bit of a delay right there. But his army is large. It is larger than White Ra's. It is heavily upgraded. It is 1-1 already. He is looking for level 2 weapons, and he's well on the way to getting it. And there are ghosts in the mix. There are going to be 7 in total when this lands, and that's a lot of EMPs.
A lot of EMPs will melt this army so fast. It's all going to come down to that High Templar versus Ghosts. And a bit of kind of pressure once again from White Ra, moving a single Zealot up.
Nice.
There are a couple of Marines there on low health, but with the SCV should be able to clean that up quite easily.
Yep, the single Zealot actually blocked off the gold expansion for a while as well. And I'm liking that harassment there from White Ra. Every little bit helps when trying to catch up against DDE right here. We're going to have 3 robotics facilities in total right here from White Ra, and he's going to be on 4 bases. That could be 3 Colossus at a time. I'm surprised he hasn't grabbed his gas down the bottom in order to support that kind of growth right there. But he should be okay for the moment.
Scary, scary attack about to come down.
That's huge, and there's a lot of ghosts in it as well. That's 7 in total, and they do have Mobius reactors, plenty of energy available. Another Starbot coming in. A small expeditionary force could get caught off guard, but there we go. EMP actually misses. The second EMP does damage, and there's the Storm versus EMP, a devastating Storm on the right flank right there. The Archon pushing its way into the side right there, but the meat shield is mostly gone. Will DDE be able to break it? He takes 1 Colossus. He takes a second. He cleans it up. Very nicely done there by DDE.
And a bit of lag there as well, and that lag basically, I mean, that's the signal. The game is going to be over because White Ra has just got smashed. That's it. His army's gone. The transition to Colossus could never happen. There's actually 3 robotics facilities out right now pumping Colossus out. 1 minute later, DD could have lost the game, to be honest.
It was well timed.
He knew the timing. He saw the robotics bay go down. Hits perfect. And congratulations to DDE moving on to the final. It's going to be so good for him to have that rematch versus SCi3. And unfortunately for White Ra, he's not had a good day today. WCG, and now this devastating loss right now because he's so far behind.
He is really, really far behind.
He's on 2 bases, like 2 Nexus, but they have no minerals. He's on literally 1 mining base. He has the army count, if you look at the army supply, 53 versus 102. The economy has now got a goal base up and running for DDE. He is just so far ahead. He's in a different world.
It would take a miracle right now for White Ra to come back from this. Yes, he did just build 3 Colossus, but honestly, with the amount of medivacs available there, the amount of drop potential, the amount of just raw ground units on the field, this is going to be his big attack. There is a reasonable amount of Zealots in this mix, and there are Archons as well to take a lot of damage. He's going to go for this big push and try and do as much damage as he can to work his way back into this game. But yeah, as you said, DDE is holding all the cards right now, and it's going to require something pretty spectacular for White Ra to come back into it.
And not bringing medibacks to the fight is probably the worst thing in the world you can do despite having EMPs. What is going on?
Oh my god, White Ra is actually doing a lot of damage right here. SCV's coming in, but that's it. GG, ladies and gentlemen. Not bringing your medivacs. Not a useful thing to do.
Then he's like,
I think he had 11 total, actually. And my god, we have a rematch for the finals. DDE versus Soke for the finals again. These guys meet, and that means TLO versus White Ra in the bronze match. And you know what? I think some people are kind of happy with that result. Because that means we got TVP all the way, and we get to go right back to the beta with White Ra versus TLO.
Yeah, this is great. I mean, these guys are going to face up again, and congratulations to DD. I cannot say it more than enough. I was saying it before the game even ended.
Good.
You know, he has not been playing that much recently. He's been watching a lot. And yeah, I mean, it shows here and there with little macro mistakes, but overall, he's still a talented player. Watching him in the last SHOUTcraft Invitational, I was so impressed, like overly impressed by his overall game, his multitasking, his game sense and game plan, absolutely incredible. So I'm really happy that he makes it to the final once again. And a rematch, let's go, let's do that.
Nothing wrong with that. I mean, you remember the finals from SCi2, so good finals.
Yeah.
Went to the final game. It came down to the final engagement. That's how close it was. It was that equal up until the final fight.
Yeah.
And that's going to guarantee an absolutely astonishing final. But that also guarantees
a pretty cool third versus fourth
damn
match.
right. TLO versus White Ra coming up for you very shortly, folks. We'll be taking a break, getting everything sorted out, and then we'll be right back to bring you the bronze match. This will, of course, once again, be a best of 5, and one of these guys gets to double their money. Ladies, gentlemen, children of all ages, we have an event for you right here. Quite the fight.
Third and fourth place match. Two pretty well-known individuals.
Damn
within
right
the community.
well-known. This is like taking a trip back in time to the beta. Because this matchup was like the matchup to watch whenever it happened.
Yes.
White Ra versus TLO. A clash of creative styles from both of these guys. And of course they are fighting to double their prize money right here.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of generic, straight-up Korean-esque style, like we've seen DD play, very straight-up and macro-focused builds. And Soke's like that as well. In this series now, this can go any... I don't even know what his start.
I don't know how this is going to go. I don't, because this could be anything.
I think this is TLO's second chance to show everybody that he's not as bad as what he showed earlier against Soke. I think this is his second chance to show his new style as well. So I don't think he's going to change up too much. White Ra, on the other hand, let's go Warp Prisms, let's go DTs. That's what he's been using. He's had success with.
Yep.
Though he did lose versus DDE, and there were a couple of engagement mistakes, to be honest. I think the biggest point that everybody knows
Definitely.
were his engagements. I think that he demonstrated that it wasn't just an overall engagement mistake he's having in his play, because in that last game, on that South fight where he dropped in High Templar and stuff, that went down perfectly fine.
Yeah, it did.
But he just didn't have enough stuff because he had been knocked down so hard in other areas throughout the entire of the game. See if both of these players are ready. Let's give a go. And TLO says go. And
let's press the button.
Says go.
Let's see what happens between these two. Of course, the other alternative is they both go absolutely nuts because they know this is the bronze match. They know they're walking away with some money. And of course, they know that you guys have been tipping them quite a lot. TLO's come out of this with quite a lot of money in his tip jar, as is White Ra, I have to say.
What's the prize difference between fourth and third?
$300. Yep.
Best of 5 series, $300.
Extra dollars, folks. It's $300, I believe, for fourth place, $600 for third. So that is a lot of money on the line, one way or the other. The first map, as you can see, is Zelnaga Caverns. And ladies and gentlemen, I bring you the one and the only
TT Esports White Ra.
He's in the Yellow Trunks. He is playing Protoss to the southwest of the Zelnaga Caverns versus his opponent, a legend in his own right. And now fighting for the third place in the SHOUTcraft Invitational number 3. He goes by the name of
Team Liquid TLO.
Sounds like... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
What? What does it sound like?
It sounds like you've recorded that on an airplane or underneath an airplane because it goes
whoosh. Yeah, I deliberately had to... It actually took a long time because I had to wait each time for an airplane to go across.
Really?
Yeah, I had to wait for 8 separate airplanes. And you know what? That took ages. But that shows, once again...
Dedication to
esports. Yeah, I'm not just here to steal all your esports money.
Yeah.
This is Liquid TLO. He's in the Red Trunks playing Terran to the northeast.
8 times.
8 times, man.
Newcastle doesn't really have that big of an airport either. So
it's not huge, actually.
So that was a long time, man. It's like 8 weeks, maybe.
8 weeks, yeah, exactly. They've got to get the pedal power up going on the Newcastle airport. Yeah, it takes about a week for a plane to actually take off. But there you go. Never mind.
13 gateway from White Ra, followed by that 15. Gas, pretty straight up. Will he use that third chrono boost in a row? I suppose he will, since he's gone 13. There it is. Does use 3 in a row. Very focused on his economy. Meanwhile, we do see TLO going for a refinery and barracks. We want to go for 1 marine, get rid of that probe, then choose his destination.
Yes. Where is he going to go? In the meantime, White Ra with a little bit of harassment right here. Saying, yes, I'm going to annoy you, TLO. I'm going to tickle you and see what kind of reaction I get.
And, well, not much, to be honest. I guess a marine. 2 marines going to come out. Oh, wait,
no. Leave it alone. Leave it alone.
Go away, probe.
Yep, needs to leave. Probe, fly away home. TLO with a pretty standard opening, which is to be expected. And in this matchup, the first matchup, he may indeed go for the style that he has been exhibiting over the rest of this tournament. We'll see what happens, though.
And a 4th chrono boost thrown into that Nexus. Really aggressive with those chrono boosts into that Nexus. And he's got a lot of probes because of it. 20 probes versus 16 already. A 4 probe difference at the 3-minute 30 mark. It's quite big. Which, because he's used it on the Nexus, chrono boost on the Cybercore. The Cybercore research for the warp gate is going to be very, very slow. Very, very late. Therefore, probably won't see any aggression. Though with these couple of units, Stalker followed by this, well, the Zealot followed by the Stalker, we'll be able to poke around, find out what is going on, test, and put his toe in the water. Is it too hot? Put his toe in the bath.
Is it too hot? Is it too cold? Or is it just right? Is it actually a bath full of porridge? And in which case, how did that happen?
How did that happen, and who do you live with?
Yeah, exactly. They cannot be trusted. Whatever the case, there's that Reaper that we've seen before. This is, I say, he has practiced this build down to an absolute T. There's no doubt about that. He goes for the 2 Marines, the Marauder, and then the Reaper at the slightly odd timing. And it looks like he might even get himself a Stalker right here. But the weakness in this build, I have to point out, is that because of the Reaper, he doesn't have the gas to go with Concussive Shell earlier. Yeah. So, as a result, if he runs into a Stalker, then that Stalker can simply amble away at its own pace and can move away easily, get himself back into a defensive position to deal with this little bit of pressure that comes in.
And Tech Lab goes on the second barracks, probably Reactor on the third, unless he's going to go for that Marauder heavy style again, which he kind of played earlier against Soke. The SCV is still there, could build a bunker. It's going to come and pressure a little bit. Reaper is actually really good with the army, as long as it's not targeted out fast.
Oh, yeah.
Kills Zealots and Sentries so fast.
So fast, yeah. And it would be interesting to see a shift towards a Reaper heavier style. I think the problem is they cost so much gas, and they're so flimsy. Ooh.
Can't see the bunker because of the radius of this Nexus.
Yeah, very nice positioning right there. Extremely nice positioning.
It's going to finish as well before these Stalkers get there.
The thing is, when it goes out, it gains more sight range. But this is going up one way or the other. And that is really nice, a bit of initial pressure. And Reapers in bunkers are awesome too, because of course that's one of their primary weaknesses gone. They can't be killed that quickly. And that also means they can chuck bombs, as you can see right there, which does a lot of damage to the Nexus. This is a good little bit of bunker pressure right here from TLO.
And White Raw has about 15 seconds left before he has to go in. Final warp in. Maybe he'll wait for another one. I think he may be able to get another one in. It's a little bit risky indeed, but he's just going to go.
Here he goes. And, of course, there is no stim and no concussive shell in this push. So that bunker has to stay up. And it probably, I mean, it's only the Zealots working on it at the minute. So it stayed up a little longer, perhaps, than it should. A quick on-deployment right there by TLO brings the Marauder out there and needs to keep that Reaper alive. He's able to do it, but he's actually crushed the initial force of White Ra between 2 heavy pushes. But I don't think TLO is going to be able to continue with this pressure. It was a nice little bit of bunker pressure, no doubt about that. He is continuing with good micro, focusing fire right there on the Stalker, sensible thing to do. Can he take out another Stalker before that happens? Surely he can't. Surely he cannot do that. He's going for it anyway, and unfortunately then eliminated. Nice little bit of a hold there from White Ra. Still, I'm liking that pressure. That was good.
Yeah, it was really good. Did a lot of damage there, and now has a nice economy. Has 28 SCVs. Going to go ahead and expand now.
Didn't gain any scouting information though.
Yeah, didn't know what was really behind that though. Doesn't matter right now because at 8 minutes is you know what he has, but what he's going to go into is about now.
Yeah.
So now is the time that he needs to scout out very, very shortly here, and that was his self-identified weakness against Soke. He just was not scouting heavily enough. Going to poke out now with these units. Stim has not been started yet, which needs to start ASAP.
Yep. I do like what TLO does there. He dips in and kills a Stalker, and he kind of ignores the Zealots at the front. And there's a little bit of force field play that TLO is able to dance around and focus once again on the Stalkers. If he takes the Stalkers out, then those Marauders can just by the time kiting these Zealots that are chopping their way through there. There's a sentry taken out as well by TLO. Nicely done. And he doesn't really have a huge amount to reinforce this with just yet, but he can catch a few Zealots out.
And 3 Zealots warped in from this aggressive pile. And North are going to go in and kill a lot of idle SCV, surprisingly, for TLO. Does retreat nice and fast, and there's that double expand. Now identified for White Ra. And losing SCVs to these Zealots, not really good. You need to get these Marauders back into the fight.
Yep. It needs to be as quickly as possible. The problem is he's sort of spread out across the map right now because the amount of pressure that was going in. We will see how much damage that really did. I think it's going to be quite significant, honestly. And White Ra now piling on the pressure from that aggressive piling of his own, and he's going to follow that up with another 2 gateways. He's already got 4. And TLO, once again, he doesn't go with defensive bunkers, and he gets caught out like this.
Well, he's so late with Stim. It hasn't even started yet. I don't even know where it is. It's so late that this attack wouldn't have not done that same damage because he would have had Stim, would have been shut down easier.
Yeah.
But White Ra smells weakness, throws down 2 more gateways, so he goes up to a total of 6 now. And there's just not enough. He lost so many SCVs there. 13 SCVs killed. He's down to 26 SCVs versus 43 probes.
Yeah, and TLO wants to clean up that aggressive pylon, but he's not really able to do so. You can see those Marauders are already quite badly hurt. Pulls back as much as he can, and this time he can't dip in and try and kill the Stalkers. He wants to, but he can't do it. Now finally decided to do that and gets a good surround right there with the SCVs. Nails down a Stalker in the process. TLO pushing this away as much as possible, but White Raw is the one with the game in his control right now. He has it in his grasp, and he's continuing to pile on the pressure onto TLO.
Hello, 6 gateways. Hello, 4 Zealots and 2 Stalkers. These Marauders are going to die so fast here. SCVs are going to be pulled off once again. And White in the background, White Rod just chrono boosting the warp gates. That's all he needs to do right now. Just warp in, warp in, warp in.
Yep, keep the pressure on. And TLO's initial pressure was good, but there's, as I said, it's just this lack of bunkers every time in his TVP at the minute. It's hurting him really, really hard. And he can't hold. And you pointed out that late stim. Yeah, very, very late stim there. So if he's unable to keep applying the pressure and he ends up being on the defensive, then he's in serious trouble.
Indeed he is, and another round's going to come in very, very shortly now. We do have the Templar Archive, so we can easily go over to Blink or Zealot Charge. At this point in the game, it doesn't even matter what you'd get. Probably Blink because it's cheaper, and your units are going to be a lot more cost effective.
Yep.
And obviously it's a lot faster to research than Zealot Charge, but at the same time, that just units. You know, TLO's economy is, so bad right now. 22 SCVs versus 49.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky for TLO. He's going to be able to push this wave away. There is an additional wave of Zealots warping in as well. He has still taken a lot of economic damage. That said, he has got this orbital command there, so he has been continually reinforcing from it, and he's been dropping in mules as well. So I don't think it's as dire as it certainly could be for TLO. He's pumping out a lot of Marauders, and his stim's about to finish as well. This attack has petered out for the most part, but White Raw's going to send in a very, very heavy force. There are a lot of sentries in that force this time around. That's interesting.
He's going to really capitalize on the fact that it's basically Marauders. If he gets good force fields and traps all these Marauders, Zealots are going to go to town. But Zealots are not there.
No, the Zealots are actually on the right flank as opposed to the left, and Sentry's taking some damage, but Sentries, funnily enough, don't die that fast to Marauders because they're light units, so they don't take the extra damage, and TLO is able to then get ahead of White Raw's force, but there's the force field blocking them into the corner, so those are going to get sliced and diced, and there's the Stalker warp in to follow it up, and that is it for TLO's defensive forces.
Yeah, and well, White Raw just put in a bit of salt onto that wound, onto that cut. He's grabbed the salt, he's shaking it all over because he's built a Dark Shrine.
GG, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. First game of this best of 5 series going to White Raw after TLO's initial pressure is thrown back, and I like that pressure. It was really, really nice. It was good bunker placement, and the Reaper did a ton of damage to the Nexus, but he just didn't quite have a follow-up to it. And then once White Raw took the momentum back from TLO's lack of defensive bunkers at the back, and of course very late stim, meant that White Raw could continue to just throw it on there, got 2 bases, got 6 gates up, and then just kept throwing units at him.
Yeah.
It works, man.
Late
it works.
stim, you can't defend that stuff. Without bunkers as well, see you later.
Can't be done.
And even if that didn't work, the 6 gateways, as mentioned, he had the Dark Shrine. 6 DTs warped in, that's it, no more. No more, TLO. No more.
Well, we'll see if TLO decides to vary things up. It's going to be in Shattered Temple. We're going to a quick ad break, then we'll be right back with Game 2. Okay, folks, are you ready for Game 2? It's coming. It is coming.
MLG Shattered Temple. Broken down into small little pieces.
Oh, yes. Let's see, folks. Let's see what ends up happening right here.
TLO needs to refine his build. It's so unrefined at the moment. There's so many holes.
There are problems with it. That little bit of bunker play. It was cute. It was nice.
Yeah.
But did it actually do anything?
Well, it did a lot because, I mean, the Reaper targeted all the sentries down. His micro at that point in the game was absolutely great. I mean, there was nothing wrong there, but the follow-up was, you know, so bad.
Yeah, would have been nice if it killed the Nexus, but let's be honest, White Ra was not going to let that happen. Simply not going to happen. Well, let's go and Shadow Temple, shall we, and see if TLO can pick the series back up. We've got White Ra in the yellow trunks. He is playing Protoss to the east of the Shattered Temple versus his opponent, TLO. He's in the red trunks, and he is playing Terran to the north.
And I'm trying to think. I mean, has my mind really left me, or is there no really Protoss players in Team Liquid aside from Hero and Tyler? That's it, right?
I think so.
I'm not delusional.
I'm just going for it.
Because the kind of TLO's build, to me, it seems like it's just a ladder build that he's used in the ladder. It's not refined hard enough. That tells me that he hasn't had specific one-on-one training with teammates, because that's how you refine your build. Because you do the same thing like 50 games in a row, and you fill in the holes where it's weak, which seems like it hasn't been done. And I think that's a problem because there are no Protoss players in Team Liquid.
Well, yeah, once they lost Huck, and therein lies the problem. And the thing is, Huck was in Korea anyway, so training with Huck is really hard.
Tyler's in the US, Huck's in Korea, and Hero's in Korea as well. There's like nobody to train with TLO. And I suppose all his training is just ladder. I don't know. Which
is not ideal, because ladder training is not consistent. So, yeah, it does seem like this build does have problems with it. It looks like TLO at least opens the same way this time around. I would just like to see something a little bit more creative from TLO, because I think trying the same build over and over again, if he loses this one with this build, I would certainly expect him to do something different, because he's picked his preferred map for this now.
Yeah, I think he's actually using these games as refinement to his build. He's just improving it every single game, or trying to every single game, because of that lack of practice, which is the only reason I can kind of feel why it's not working. He's doing the same again, as he's only got one in the refinery again. He's going to be going for this double marine into Tech Lab. And it looks like he's just going to do the same thing again. He wants to refine this. Basically, when somebody's like this, the mentality they have is like, my build is good. It will work.
It's just we didn't execute it properly.
Didn't do this properly, or I didn't fill this in properly. So he's going to keep doing it until it just gets shut down so many times where he's like, all right, that build is bad. Which is practice. That's training. Which is, I don't know, the kind of conclusion I can make from this.
I'm okay with him doing that. I'm certainly not at odds with him doing that at all. If this is what he thinks is a good idea, and he thinks that he can refine it, then we'll see. There's perhaps one of the best ways, I suppose, to check whether or not a build is good is to throw yourself into the fire and test it in the heat of battle, as it were.
It's a little bit risky for
in a tournament environment.
Line,
what better motivation is there to execute your build perfectly than that? Much better than ladder.
All right, so we do have that Marauder once again, probably Reaper. You can pretty much predict exactly what TLO's going to do.
Yeah, almost exactly.
He's going to have a child in 2 years' time called Sam, who's going to have blonde hair, like he's done it so many times.
There is a possibility. Yeah. He is a ravenous one. We've got the second barracks coming down right here. There is that Reaper, just to be expected. Now, the SCV will go back in there, and no SCV going down with it this time, so perhaps no bunker pressure this time around.
Very early robo from White Ra here. Pretty fast. He's going to be looking for he can go for an observer straight away, but I don't think he needs to. I wouldn't be surprised if he went directly for like an immortal and then just pushed out, because it's like so many holes in the build that I'd probably just kill him.
The late stim is what does him in that regard, because if you've got stim marauders, you can eat through marauder shield, you can eat through immortal shields quite fast. If you've not got stim marauders, immortals are going to laugh at you. And they're going to chew through you very, very easily. And he actually has got those 3 gateways and
the fourth one as well. Bottom right. And I mean, I wouldn't be surprised as well if he went for a warp prism as well. I mean, basically, White Ra is like, my build's pretty good. My build is refined. I have practiced it against all these Ukraine people that he plays against in the ladder.
He knows what he's doing.
At the same time, it's going to be tough, because I think this build is going to be pretty good for White Ra. He's going to lift up these 3 Zealots and the Stalker. He's going to drop them in the main base, and then he's going to warp in 4 gateways. It's literally 4 gateways with a pylon in your base. That pylon is
a warp prism.
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult. There's no stim, there's no concussor shells yet. He's actually skipped concussor shells to go for stim faster. No bunkers. This is going to hurt.
Yeah, it's very much a weird variant on the 4-gate, isn't it? But we're using a warp prism, and it bypasses the usual 4-gate defense that you would have. TLO is building a bunker, and this time around it's actually not going to work, because White Ra has gone right for the warping and is bringing friends along for this one, and that is a big mess of a mineral line you've got right there.
Yeah, this is hurting TLO a lot. He's going to send all his SCVs and his little army that he does have to go in to try to stop this, but the SCV kills, the SCV losses are just going to climb so high.
Yeah. Zealots slice through SCVs incredibly rapidly. Taking out that Warp Prism should be a priority, but he's not able to do that. TLO is driven all the way back very, very nicely here by White Ra, who continues the warp-ins into this line and decimating the economy
26,
of TLO.
27 SCVs killed at 7 minutes 30.
There are 2 SCVs left. This was fast, it was brutal, and to the point.
Yeah, that was clean murder. Somebody needs to call the police because this is out of this world. He is...
Well, White Ra, I think, is poking holes in this build in ways that perhaps TLO couldn't have possibly imagined.
Yeah.
He's seeing a hole that he can win the game with. Not just harass, win it completely. And there it is.
That's rough,
4-gate Warp Prism beats that build, it would seem.
Pretty rough. TLO's taken a lot of hits today. I feel sorry for him because it is very demotivational.
It's demoralizing, yeah, sure.
Yeah, this is really tough. Going like 3-0 versus Soke, 2-0 versus White Ra.
So far,
it
anyway.
Hurts. Yeah, it hurts.
That it does. Will we see him come back? Will that legendary TLO spirit carry him through? We're about to find out, folks. A quick commercial break will take us right into Game 3. Ladies and gentlemen, Game 3 will be hosted on the Metalopolis.
Indeed, it will be. ESL Metalopolis, no ground, close by ground positions.
Nope.
Close by air and
Nope.
cross positions available for both these players. And I'd be pretty scared to get close by air again against White Ra. It's going to be tough.
That build is just terrifying.
It's good.
It's 4-gate with a Warp Prism in close air. It's like I can put a pylon right in the middle of your base, and there is almost nothing you can do to stop me from doing that.
I can pick up my low health units with my pylon too.
Yeah, I can also bring 4 zealots along with me to make sure
my
that it's
pylon.
protected, and then warp in another 4.
It's tough.
I could see that happening an awful lot when that Warp Prism buff happens. I really can.
I know. Maybe White Ra needs to actually work for Blizzard. That'd be pretty cool.
White Ra really finding the metagame right here.
He is. I mean, the new change is being brought in because people aren't using it enough. I'm pretty sure after this series has been completed, there's going to be a lot of Protoss players trying this out.
I think so, folks. I think so. Let's see if TLO goes for the same build again. If he does, I have a feeling that he might end up losing, but you never know. Maybe he's identified the problem with his build. We shall find out. Close by air again. My, oh my. My, oh my. Here we go, folks. I bring you TLO. He is in the red trunks, and he is playing Terran to the south of this particular map, which is Metalopolis versus his opponent, White Ra. He's in the yellow trunks, and he is playing Protoss to the west.
Yeah. This. I mean, there's nothing you can say. I mean, literally, I just want to repeat the same 2 sentences I said at the start of the last game, but I mean, it's really difficult for TLO. I mean, you can't come to a tournament of this skill caliber against a player like White Ra with an unrefined build. It just doesn't work because there's so many holes that are exploited. And a player like White Ra is so creative, so adaptable to situations. Easily done.
Yep.
Oh.
The Apollo is lagging out.
I'm not. I'm here and I'm not lagging. Can you hear my voice?
Yeah, we can hear it. No, he's fine. There we go. Not a problem.
It's okay.
Naniwa says it's okay.
It's okay, guys. It's
There we
okay.
go. He'll be fine. Yeah, just a glitch in the matrix. It happens when they change something.
Yeah. Maybe TLO's going to change his build now. I don't know.
Perhaps.
Maybe that was what that was signifying.
It was a glitch in the matrix. Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's see what happens. Is he going to go for the barracks on 12? Most likely.
Yeah, that's not going to change for sure.
No,
I mean,
because that's standard.
It's going to be to kind of see, does he keep on 1 in the refinery? It's the first change he'll need to make, really. But we'll see. There goes the 13 gateway gone down for White Raw. Once again, he will be using those 3 chrono boosts and then getting that assimilator on 15. Very kind of safe-ish build. 12 is the most safe. 13 is pretty focused on your economy, which means that he's not looking a 4 gate straight off the bat. Nice and fast. He's going to do it in his own time, in White Raw's time.
White Raw's time is different from everybody else's time, folks. It's different from Goody Median time, for instance.
Yeah. And there's just 1 in the refinery, so gonna try it again, are we, Tilo? Let's do this. See how you can improve.
Yep, well, White Raw is going to spot that. I think White Raw is fully aware of this build now, and White Raw has got a lot of options. He could go for the same 4-gate warp gate pressure, and if he goes with the warp prism, well, I don't really know what TLO's going to do about that, honestly. He's going to have to know that it's coming, and he's going to have to be prepared for it. Try and intercept the warp prism, take it down before it can actually deploy its units. And this is a particularly tricky map for it because of this area over to the side right here with the steam. Yeah,
and there goes the 4th chrono boost on the Nexus to get those probes basically out so incredibly fast. He's at 20 already, and Teal's at 15. 3 minutes 30, 5 probe difference already. And there goes the Tech Lab once again after these two Marines. He's also saving up money to go ahead and throw that command center down. Pretty much the same build so far. On the other hand, let's look at White Raw's base. Is now getting that Stalker out to chase away that SCV. And will he be throwing down that 2nd gateway very, very shortly, or will he just go ahead and expand from here?
I love the way White Raw optimizes this so much by stealing gold minerals on the way back. It's just wonderful.
Gotta make use of that probe.
Every
little bit helps.
Every little bit helps. There's the Marauder. I think we can safely say there's going to be a Reaper follow-up from here. And there's the 2nd barracks. Yep, the timing is bang on. And he's got now that 2nd SCV in the refinery just to keep the gas count up just a little bit. And
White Raw's going to change it up. Just going to go ahead and expand now. 1 gate expand, and he will be looking to kind of add on the 2nd and 3rd gateway pretty much instantly, along with the 2nd gas as well. Meanwhile, over in Tilo's base, we are going for that 3 barracks. He's got to be a little bit careful. There comes the Reaper as well. He's going to move out with minimal units, and in comes the 2nd and 3rd gateway now for White Raw.
Yep, he may be able to poke and do some damage here because, of course, this is a 1-gate expander. We haven't seen this from him before. We'll see what that Reaper can do. Reaper has lots of opportunities to get into the base. White Raw is already prepared for it, and if TLO goes the obvious route, then White Raw will catch him, but he's not going to do that.
And if White Raw does feel threatened, he literally just force fields the ramp, stays in his main base, but there is a bunker coming down.
Yep, once again, a little bit of bunker pressure right there. Is it spotted? No, it is not.
A few lag spikes here and there.
Just a little bit, yeah. BattleNet is playing up just a bit. Could, of course, be White Raw's connection from the Ukraine.
Yeah.
He has said that that is particularly bad at the moment. Now, White Raw did poke down there and saw the bunker a little bit earlier this time around. We'll see what he can do with that information. Probe annihilated.
And the bunker's going to get up again.
Yeah, well, and it is nice, as I said. Yeah, he wasn't able to kill the Nexus last time around with that, and some people might question, well, is this bunker harassment effective or does it kill the Nexus? Well, the thing is, it led into a lot of sentry kills and things like that, so actually it was, in the long run, effective.
Yeah, you'll see when Tilo goes in the bunker and White Raw comes to catch him, you'll see the sentries die. He'll target fire the sentries down very, very fast here. Getting a few extra hits, though, which is always nice before these units do come down.
Yep.
And if he targets that Nexus, is very, very close to going down now, but in comes White Raw.
Yep, here it is, and the bunker doesn't actually have as many units as I would have liked in it. He can't fit a Marauder in there. They are too fat, but he has actually brought additional SCVs this time around to reinforce this bunker. Unfortunately, though, it doesn't look like he's able to take down the Stalkers fast enough, and it's going to come down to whether this bunker holds, which it will not. The sentry may die. Reinforcements coming from the side. Eventually, that bunker's going down, but he's taken a lot of damage in the process, and now here he goes. TLO trying to smash his way through this force, takes 1 Stalker, looks for a 2nd, but now the Marauders are down, and the Marines will be driven away by those Zealots right there.
And he built Stim.
Yes, he did. He started Stim a bit earlier.
Caverns.
Yep.
The last time he literally didn't build it ever, but this time he's done it. So the build is more refined now, which is what he's doing. Apart from 1 little Marauder which is stuck, which is now going to be allowed out.
Yes.
He was stuck with the command center. But
that happens to me all the time. It's pretty awkward. It's mostly with tanks for me, though, so it's a little bit less important. Oh, nice little bit of sniping action from the high ground right there by TLO, trying to delay this force that's coming in. TLO repositions his orbital command center a little bit closer to the ramp. He's putting a bunker up right now. If White Ra goes all the way up there, he will get caught out by 3 Marauders, so that's not a particularly good idea. White Ra taking a nice and early third, because, hey, why not?
Hey, TLO, if you're going to go for 3 bases, why can't I? And the thing is, though, that White Ra's playing mind games. Because now TLO realizes that if I go for a 3rd base again, I'm going to risk losing again to the same thing. So White Ra's playing mind games is like, all right, well, if you're going to not get the 3rd now, which you should be doing because you keep losing, I'm going to take a 3rd, which is so smart because instead of going for an attack like normal, and now knowing that TLO has the potential to cut out the 3rd command center, he's going to have more units out, which means he's going to defend better. So White Ra just plays metagame against him, messes with his head, takes a 3rd Nexus himself. And if TLO doesn't scout, which I don't think he is, I don't think he's going to even think about that 3rd base because that isn't in his immediate priority list for refinements. Like, it's not at the highest list. Like, I need to be careful in case he takes a 3rd against me. It's more like, I need to be careful not to lose versus 6 gate. And then my build's going to be okay. But we'll see. I mean, he's gone up to these 5 barracks now. Well, 6, 7 barracks now in total.
7 barracks?
No factory. And that actually could hurt White Ra a lot here.
It could, yeah. That's a good choice right there from TLO, I feel, to really start piling on the pressure. He did vary things up. I believe what he did was he grabbed the stim instead of putting down the 4th barracks as early. And as a result, he now has stim. And he's going to go and do damage with that. White Ra may not be expecting stim based on the last one. We'll find out. The army composition and the army count, as far as I'm concerned, is in favor of TLO on both counts. A couple of sentries now being warped in, but this is quite a tricky natural to defend. It's got a nice open face right here for a good Terran concave. Let's catch a free probe out, and that's going to give him information about that 3rd base as well, because that probe is heading up there. He's going to suspect there's a 3rd base right now. He's got a few Marauders right here, which are not in the fight, and they're just hanging around. He splits his force up in 2 and gets stuck up against the Glory of Dominion. That's a bit of a problem, and that's, of course, the reason why you kill the Glory of Dominion, folks. Kill those statues. Damn it. And TLO will definitely catch that one out right now. With focus fire coming down, he wants to bring down that Immortal. He will do so at the cost of several Marauders, and White Ra defends that quite nicely. Still a little bit of pressure coming in. I think there's going to be a lot of pressure coming in quite shortly from TLO because he does have those 7 barracks, but he lost a lot of units there, and now he needs to try and thin out the herd, and he's doing it quite nicely. A good bit of micro and a good bit of stemming action. All the Stalkers ripped apart there, except for that one solitary survivor who will go on to tell the tales of his lost race.
Yeah, really nice there play by both these players, actually. TLO, he split his army in 2, which he shouldn't have done, which means it's very, very difficult to micro versus Zealots. You cannot go attack, move in 2 different locations unless you're like MVP. And TLO is not quite MVP, unfortunately, so it's very, very difficult to micro. Therefore, he took so much damage initially from Zealots. Because the Zealots just attack move, and that's it. You don't need to focus too much on them. And then the rest of the focus is on, the sentries and so on. But the good makeup from TLO was that he did focus down and, as you said, thinned out that army. Though, a big warp prism as well in the main base for TLO as this attack happens.
Yeah, here it comes, and as always, the warp prism seems to be a vulnerability for not just TLO, but everybody, and White Ra is doing a good job of making that happen. In the meantime, TLO is forced into a fighting retreat, and making decent use of the terrain right here to try and avoid his opponent. A couple of reinforcements coming in, and he's going to need something to deal with this mess that's happening in his main base at the moment.
Uh-oh, this is getting dangerous for TLO, losing 12 SCVs there. White Ra's currently at 61 SCVs on 3 base. TLO's on 2 base at 36 SCVs. That's quite bad.
Yep, and the remaining forces of White Ra are now moving in, doing some damage there as well. Zealots destroying that mineral line. TLO's force does land, and with the +1 upgrade, he's able to clean this up quite nicely. Now Stim's directly in there. But again, this is a bio force with no medevac support, and TLO is forced once again into a retreat as White Ra smashes through those defenses.
Yeah, indeed he does, and he's going to be looking so bad. Now there are 7 gateways in total, all getting chrono boosted out right now, which means it's just relentless pressure being warped in because of the warp prism. All about that warp prism again, they're basically piling inside the base.
GG, ladies and gentlemen, and there you go. White Ra cleans TL up 3-0, and that is both of those guys, of course, out of the tournament, and White Ra placing 3rd with TLO placing 4th. Okay, folks, we do have, of course, the grand finals coming up. It's a rematch from SCi2. It's SOCE versus DDE in a best of 7. We'll be setting that one up that will take a little bit of time to get sorted out, and then we'll be back to bring you the grand finals of the SHOUTcraft Invitational number 3. know that we will be bringing you this matchup as quickly as possible. Ladies and gents, just to let you know, we'll be bringing you this matchup as quickly as possible. Soke is just needing another 5 minutes or so, and then we will get started with the grand finals. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the SHOUTcraft Invitational number 3. Apologies for the delay. Socky likes to chill before his first match, we tend to find.
He is so well known for that all over the place in many different tournaments. And it's really weird because we're sitting here like, oh, he must have gone to the toilet, maybe got some food. In reality, he's probably just looking at the screen. He does that every single tournament. Every single tournament. Before a big game, he just sits there. That's my Sake impression, man.
Just
That's what
Sake
he does, man.
impression,
He just sits there and relaxes. He just
could you
calms down.
perhaps say that that's a bit of a wind sock?
It's pretty funny.
It's terrible.
It's pretty funny.
It's terrible. Indeed. That was the sound of many Miller bottles being thrown down, and I did not drink Miller, by the way. I'm not someone couthous to drink American.
That was funny last night, because I'm there, like, having a bottle of Miller's, and I, like, try to use the bottle opener, and Pueble's there, like, with his hands, like...
It's a twist top. Yeah, it's nice and
that.
easy. We're not going to keep you waiting any longer, folks. The finals, the rematch. It's an SCi3 rematch. This happened in the SHOUTcraft Invitational number 2. It is happening in SHOUTcraft Invitational number 3. It is Sake versus DDE, and the first map is going to be Shattered Temple. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Placing himself to the north of this particular map, having defeated both Damaga and TLO to reach the grand final of SCi3. It's actually this guy, not this guy. He defeated some other dudes. Trust me, it's all good. This guy defeated those guys, so I press this button.
Alternate attack, Sake.
He's in the Yellow Trunks playing Protoss to the east, and that's what happens when you completely mess up your intro, folks. Just roll with it.
Hello, Sake. I mean...
What?
Cat. No,
What?
standard. Cat on keyboard.
Sorry, cat. Cat, get out.
Yeah, okay.
Come on. Yeah, cats have been known to do that. That's why you lock them out of the gaming arena. Imagine if people brought cats to tournaments. It would be the worst thing in the world. As we were saying, messed up intro, cat on keyboard, great way to start the SCi3 finals. What can we say? That's Sake. This guy, he defeated Tyler 3-0 and then defeated White Raw 3-2 to make himself the grand finalist for this particular event. He is also the second place champion from SHOUTcraft Invitational number 2. And ladies and gentlemen, I give to you
6 Jacks DDE.
He's in the Red Trunks playing Terran to the north.
And I did not think that DDE could beat White Raw. I didn't think so. I thought we were going to see... I think I'm on the same kind of wavelength as everybody else.
You thought you were gonna,
expected PvP finals, TVT third and fourth.
Yeah.
That was it. But surprisingly, coming from 2-0 down 3 games in a row to beat White Raw, that is incredible. And I congratulate DDE to do that, because that is a tough feat for sure.
Yeah, that was really, really well played there by DDE, and an excellent example of the ability simply to come back from the brink of annihilation. Well, let's see what happens here. And we've seen already that, in fact, come to think of it, DDE's had nothing but TVP this entire tournament.
He had a lot of TVP last tournament too.
He did, didn't he? Yeah, he went up against Bling and then Morrow, which was, of course, showing off his TVC, and then another bit of TVP. So plenty of TVP practice right here for DDE. That said, going TVP against Sake once again is probably not the thing he was hoping for.
And yeah, to be honest though, DDE, that's pretty lucky for him, because his Terran vs. Protoss was known, and still is known, for being the best in North America, by far. He is so good versus Protoss, and to go into a tournament and play a best matchup all the time.
There's nothing against Protoss,
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's happy with that. He's happy with that. What we need to do for SHOUTcraft Invitational 4 is we invite DDE and 7 Zerg.
Yeah. See how you do now.
Damn it, DDE. Never mind. That would be kind of cute. There's the second Marine coming out right there. Unfortunately, not quite quick enough to stop that scout. And that was a gasless expand, picking up the refinery nice and late on 19 supply right there. Very well timed out build there by DDE, building at just the right time to prevent a supply block, immediately going into another SCV. Very fluid, very crisp.
And look at this down here on the natural.
That's
for
cheeky.
Sake. This is maybe he heard the screams of play like you would versus Zerg. And he throws down an engineering bay to deny that hatchery. Oh, wait, Nexus.
Indeed.
Which was inevitably coming here, and immediately seeing that throws down the robotics facility in second gas, knowing that the fast expand cannot come from here. Nice play from DDE, denying that. And SCi3, like mentioned many times in this tournament, is a macro player. When he sees somebody play macro, he's not a player to go ahead and try to break you down. He will be, I'm comfortable with that. I like my late game, and we'll try to expand. So very nice exploiting there by DDE. And meanwhile, he's got this 2 barracks up so far. He hasn't thrown down a 3rd yet. And I'm intrigued by that, actually. And I wonder if he's going to go straight for factory here.
He might. He very well might. And DDE has been using sort of the same sort of opening against Protoss pretty much the entire tournament, but he does vary things up in quite a crazy manner. Yes, he does use mech versus Protoss. He's okay with that. But no, that's going to be another barracks for him, so no factory just yet. And a Ghost Academy really early. That is a complete variation.
Yeah, this is pretty cool, actually. He's going to go for a nice beastie timing attack with Stim, probably concussive shells and the combat shields with ghosts. That's going to be pretty good, because usually the way that SCi3 likes to play, and I'm saying usually because he does prefer to go into Blink first, Twilight Council first, Zealot Charge, and so on. This game, though, I mean, Ghost is great against that style, by the way, but though this game he goes for incredibly early Colossus, which is not going to be so good for DDE here because he's gone for Ghosts.
Yeah, that's going to be a bit crazy. He's going to have to really try and land this before the Colossus actually comes out because, yeah, Ghost is a little bit rubbish against that. Doesn't do much. And here's the thing, though. The Robotics Bay is done. The Colossus is coming.
Incredibly fast.
Really quick Colossus. Nice little bit of variation there from SCi3, a direct reaction to having his fast expansion denied. And if that Colossus comes out, then there's really not an awful lot that he can do. I'd like to point out as well, he's building 2 Ghosts at a time. So this is quite a heavy Ghost composition.
Man.
It is.
Ghosts
It's pricey.
Expensive. That's like a command center in these 2 Ghosts he just spent, plus a little bit of extra.
Yep, expensive taste.
SCV is going to come across now, probably go in and scout and realize where is your gas, which is pretty big. DDE should have scanned by now. He needs to find out what's going on. He probably scan after he sees no gas.
Yeah,
because
maybe.
either that SCi3 is going for some DT play, or that he's going for this fast Colossus, and he's not going to get any information whatsoever. Sees no gas units, and probably will want to go ahead and scan very, very shortly. He has the energy to do so. Maybe he'll want to save it up in case of DTs, but this is going to be a bite, and there is the scan. Finally goes down and sees the Robotics Bay and is like, oh, oops, this is going to be painful.
Yeah, this is problematic because I don't have a factory. So what am I going to do? Well, it looks like he's going to push immediately. I don't even know if he actually saw that first Colossus. So whatever the case, he's going to want to get in there as quickly as he can. You can hear the Colossus alarm going off in the background right there for DDE.
Yeah, red alert right now because the timing is that fast that he probably doesn't even think there is a Colossus yet. He probably thinks, oh, now he does. But
he knows exactly that. That said, it's a very, very naked Colossus. There's very little with it. The forces of SCi3 are very small, and that is a bit risky. If that Colossus moves out of position, then, of course, it will take fire. He's going to try and use the cliff face in order to make that less likely. Easily take out a pylon here and start creating a bunker containment, which is going to force those Colossus off the cliff. And here comes the damage right there. Is that force field enough? It pushed a good number of units away, and there's an EMP right there on the sentry, immediately annihilating the Stalker at the back, and those Colossus are now undefended. That said, there's not a lot left for DDE on the ground either, so 2 Colossus is probably enough to clean this up. Shields down on that first Colossus, but what has DDE got left? Nothing.
Wow, 1 Ghost remains. This goes to the bunker, but
there you go.
Colossus, it's like a little scratch, like flicks his shoulder, flicks the fly off. Like
he's trying, bless him, he's trying.
See ya.
I think not.
And now DDE is in a pretty bad position. I mean, 44 probes versus 36. He has to throw bunkers down, ready for a counterattack. And right now, the pressure can mount up because more Colossus is going to build. He's only just now halfway through building that first starport. 3 Colossus. Well, 3rd one's just about to pop. That is a lot. And SCi3 knows he's at a great lead right now. Brings a probe. He's going to start building aggressive pylons. And this is going to be pretty bad. He's chronoboosting the gateways as well. DDE has to hold.
And that's going to be really, really difficult. But yeah, cool. You've got bunkers. That's fine. The bunkers are not going to be able to fire on the Colossus. They will be a reason for the Colossus not to go forward for a while. And if he pulls a lot of SCVs, he can repair them for quite some time. The thing is, 1 bunker's already been taken out. And there is a hole in those defenses. SCi3 with 3 Colossus right now. A fourth one on the way. Not really moving in a ton of other units. His army's really small because he went for Colossus so early. But the main point is he kept those Colossus alive. And as a result, they have paid for themselves. No problems at all. Now he's going to slice through those bunkers. There's not an awful lot of pressure coming in from them. And just very slight movements. It's good stuff. One bunker down. It's looking really, really good for SCi3 right now. That said, he's got to be careful. If he loses that shield at the front, then those Marauders will stim in and do damage. And they're already trying to flank around DDE with good positioning. It's not enough, however. It is not enough, and SCi3 keeps all 3 Colossus alive. GG, ladies and gentlemen. And a first game in this best of 7 series going to SCi3 in a commanding fashion.
Not much you can do there. Not much. When you go for a build, it's a very decisive, assertive build. Not much you can do when you walk into a direct counter, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. He went for Ghosts, and he didn't know that Colossus was coming. You were saying earlier he should have thrown down the scan earlier. He didn't. And as a direct result, what are you going to do in that situation? Yeah. Oh, there's Colossus on the way. I haven't got a factory. It's going to take so long for me to get Vikings out. So what do? You try and attack. But he didn't see that Colossus. He thought there wouldn't be Colossus there. He thought he might get a timing, and as it turns out, he did not. It was the anti-timing. He ran right into 2 Colossus, which will kill you horribly.
Nobody goes... No, like, hardly anybody goes Colossus first anymore.
That was a bit crazy.
Nobody goes fast Colossus anymore. So he kind of got hit in the chin quite hard there. Well, he kind of threw a punch, missed, swung around and punched himself in the head. It's basically what DDE just did. And
unpleasant.
Unlucky, really. I mean, you can't take anything away from there. It is pretty much unlucky, that first game there. But best of 7, a lot of room for error.
Plenty of time to come back from that. And DDE, the master of comebacks against Protoss, as we've seen. And we'll be hopping over to the North American server. We'll be right back in just a couple of short moments for another game. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for Game 2?
Yeah, they are! Woo!
They're ready. Let's press that button and make it happen. No more delays, no more downtime. Let's do it, let's do it, let's do it. Metalopolis will be the place to fight this particular encounter. SCi3 versus DDE, with SCi3 taking an early lead with incredibly fast Colossus.
Yeah, a bit of a build order loss. But overall, that should be out of the mind of DDE. There was nothing he did wrong there. It was simply build A, lost to build B. There was nothing more you can do there. They're kind of unfortunate. Clean the slate. Let's go. Game 2.
Yeah. He did what he could have done, which was, let's try and hit the timing attack before the Colossus comes out.
Yeah.
He missed the Colossus because the Colossus was moved forward towards the ramp. It was not really his fault. Like I said, you're right, there's really nothing he could have done there. Whatever the case, here we go. DDE, he's in the red trunks, and he is playing Terran to the north of this particular map, versus his opponent, SCi3. He is in the yellow trunks, and he is playing Protoss to the east. And now that Protoss has won a game in this series, the chat can now start talking about how OP Protoss is. And then if DDE wins, they can talk about how OP Terran is. It's going to be great. Looking forward to it.
Indeed, and just thinking about that timing a little bit more, it's like, it was so funny. One gateway, robotics bay. That's what it was. One gateway and expand at the same time. It is so risky. Very, very risky. And even if SCi3, because nobody plays that style, if SCi3 built a regular one gate, double gateway, then robo, then robotics bay, the timing, the push out from DDE is completely fine. He just was not prepared.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Thermal Lance was done by the time he got there. That was unexpected.
You don't expect that to happen, no. The Thermal Lance following up and the Colossus there, it is kind of scary, isn't it?
Indeed it is. And it is. There's nothing you can do, to be honest. All right, meantime, 13 gateway from SCi3. Very similar to as we've seen White Raw do every single game against TLO.
Yep.
And that shows a sign of being comfortable. You usually see people who go 12 gate feel a little bit uncomfortable early game, and they'll just want to get the units out that little supply faster. Meanwhile, DDE is going to go refinery this game, so he's not going to go for a super fast command center. Though, DDE's style is based around that fast command center, so he's probably going to go like 1 barracks expand from here.
Yeah, we'll see if that works out for him. A little bit of scouting action going on right there as SCi3 does a little bit of harassment. Tiny, irritating little probe. They're gnats. They're horrible, evil insects. What can I say? I hate probes. I've got a long history of hating probes, and honestly, that's never going to change.
It's never going to change, no matter where I play, how I play.
Yeah, I'm horribly prejudiced against probes, and you know what? I'm fine with that.
SCVs can't repair straight off the bat with no help. Drones do it very slowly.
Yep, they need help from their friends. They're a very cooperative kind of creature, and I can support that. I feel that that's a very healthy thing to do. It promotes family values. Whereas probes, well, basically, they dump down a building and then they run away, which to me does not promote family values at all. In fact, I think that is just working at the core of society and nibbling it away very slowly. It's horrible. I don't like Protoss. Here's a factory. Enjoy.
Yes. Factory very early on and a second refinery. This can be a couple of things, but it's definitely not going to be early barracks pressure for sure. He can go into Cloak Banshees from here. He can go into 1-1-1 from here.
Yep.
There's a lot of different options for DDE on the table right now. SCi3, on the other hand, has no idea what's going on. Absolutely no idea. He's chrono boosting the Stalker out so he can get rid of the SCV and also poke at the front of the ramp. When he goes to the front of the ramp, he's going to kind of ask himself, do you have a Marauder, yes or no? If yes, okay, you have a tech lab on the barracks. If no, where's the gas?
Where's the gas?
Come on, tell me, DDE, what are you doing?
Yep, that was a really early double gas from DDE as well, and we're going to see that's directly into it. That is the 1-1-1 build right there, but an interesting variation on it. This could be Banshees. It could
Stargate. Wow.
Both of these guys going a little bit crazy at the moment. I'm liking it. Gateway right there. 1 gate, Stargate approach, and will that SCV scout it? No, absolutely not. Not going to happen. SCi3 putting that in a really good position. What did SCi3 learn? Not a lot, other than his opponent has nothing but Marines. It could be that mass Marine style that we did see from DDE versus White Raw, or it could be something else. And DDE is doing an incredibly good job of hiding that right now. That said, Stargate's going to find out what's going to be happening very shortly. It can easily pop out of Phoenix, which is exactly what's happening, and Phoenix is built so incredibly fast.
So we're looking at 1-1-1 here, Raven, tank, and so on, and it's interesting that he's gone for the Phoenix. Phoenix is such a large gamble to do so. And he's going to go in there and see this. The best way to play now is you kind of don't build a Banshee. You kind of have to build Medivacs, probably.
Yeah.
It's going to be a better follow-up rather than the Banshee here. You kind of build a Banshee if your opponent goes for fast Colossus or something, or just regular gateway units. But if he's going to go for this, you have to go and get Medivacs out for sure. So we are going to see 1-1-1 from DDE. How good is SCi3 against defending it? I mean, if we think back to, I think he played against his style against Puma, if I remember, in Intel Extreme Masters, and it didn't work out so well for him there. We'll have to see how he does now.
Yeah, it's a really strong approach. There's no doubt about that. Phoenix is able to pick off a couple of SCVs nice and easy and then move out. He does gain some information. He sees Tech Lab on the starport. He sees Tech Lab on the factory as well. So he's got to be thinking, oh, wait a second. Yes, I recognize this build. This is something perhaps that I'm a little bit fearful of. He's going to add on another gateway right there. And he's still going to expand regardless against this.
And we do have that Medivac on the way. The thing is with Phoenixes, why they're so good is because they can harass. They keep the Terran player in the base, and as soon as he moves out, you keep on harassing. Phoenixes are like the fastest unit in the game.
Yep.
So they are able to come back and defend in the nick of time. So that's basically what we're going to be seeing. If you can pick up a tank and notify that the Marines are far away, that would be fantastic. But, you know, it's going to take a long time to kill a tank with just 2 additional Phoenixes. But he is making more. You know, we're at 5 now. Oh, it cancels the 5th one. So we're at 4, and that's it for now.
He might want to kill the Raven, because as I say, Ravens are light units. They die really fast to Phoenix. So if he's able to snipe off the Raven, then that's a lot of gas that was invested. And that's exactly what he's going to try and do. However, DDE is having none of that. They're able to delay the supply depot just a little bit, take another SCV, trying to perhaps draw the Marines away from that Raven so he can come around. But there's now a Viking on the field as well. So he'll probably probably have to sacrifice at least one Phoenix for that Raven, and 2 Phoenixes for a Raven. It's not a bad trade, but it's not a great one either.
I don't like the Twilight cancel here. I really don't like that, to be honest, because I pure and hate that. I don't like that, Soke. Because the attack's going to come before anything is upgraded from this. So it's a complete waste of money. As you can see now, the push is coming out. So why would you get the Twilight cancel and expand? And, he actually cancelled the robotics facility. So
interesting.
That's interesting indeed. Yeah, I was going to say, you don't want to do all 3 at once. He's got the Twilight cancel, but it's not going to help him whatsoever here. He wants to get Zealot charge out, but it's not going to be in time.
No.
It would have been better just another round of units, to be honest.
Yeah, I have to think that this is for a counter-attack. It's as simple as that. He wants to try and get this out. Did he just cancel it? Yes, he did, because he saw the push coming in. Maybe he wasn't expecting the push that early, because that immediate reaction was to cancel Zealot charge so that he could get another round of units, like you said. And that's going to be a bit of a problem, because DDE has got a number of SCVs into the mix right here. The tanks without siege mode. Quick pickup of the tanks, which is good. That at least gets the DPS out of there for the time being. Can't kill them, but he can nullify them for a while. The question is, can he actually hold against this? There's a lot of Marines taking a lot of fire from a lot of different places at the minute, and that bunker has not gone up just yet. And there's another nice grab. However, the Phoenixes are now out of play, and those tanks are still alive, and that's a big problem when you have only Stalkers.
Siege mode's on its way now as well. Bunkers up. This is so tough now. Medivacs, 3 Medivacs. Shouldn't have gone for Twilight cancel there. Big mistake from Soke, and it looks like DDE's going to pull back this second game.
Yeah, he very well might. It was a powerful build, and that Nexus, of course, highly vulnerable, but DDE looks like he's just going to go for the throat immediately, doesn't want to get any more warpins, go right for that main line, destroy the production facilities, take out the pylon. Oh, wow, that is taking out a lot of gateways. GG, as soon as that pylon goes down, ladies and gentlemen, DDE coming right back with a strong 1-1-1 build, and Soke making potentially a strategic misstep to allow DDE to take that game.
Yeah, I mean, he was a bit indecisive. He was like, do I get 4 or 5 Phoenixes? He's like, 5? No, let's get 4. And then he was like, should I get the robotics facility? Yeah. No, let's not do that. Let's cancel that. Are we going to get Twilight cancel? Yeah. Are we going to get charged? No, we're not going to get. So it was very indecisive, and that cost him a lot. That indecisiveness there probably cost him like 2 waves of units, to be honest.
And that might have been enough to hold it.
Yeah, it could have been. So
that's
little bit shaky.
Well, that's how tight it gets at this level of play. It's as simple as that.
1-1-1, yeah.
Yeah, and that is a dangerous build. Okay, folks, we'll be hopping right back over to the EU servers for the next game. Currently 1 apiece in this best of 7 series between DDE and Soke. ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to whine about Game 3?
1-1 on their respective servers as well.
1-1
so nobody.
and 1.
It's like
There
a
you
game
go.
of tennis. It's like
Yeah,
who
back
has the
and forth.
advantage?
Yep. And the question is, who can go long enough on the rally before screwing it up?
Who can win their opponent's
But yep,
serve, basically.
Yep. Well, since Terran has won, the chat has swung back in favor of complaining that Terran is OP. And in the first game, they were complaining that Protoss is OP. You know, that speaks volumes for how fairly balanced the game is. Everything's OP.
Nobody can judge balance. It's actually true.
No, it's true. The balance arguments are absolutely
Like
retarded.
not even the top 0.0001% can probably call balance, but nobody else.
Pretty much. And if you are that, and you're in the chat, I have to ask, why aren't you in our tournament?
Yeah, go
We
back
should
to your
invite you.
practice. Nesty, get out the chat, son. What are you doing?
God damn it, Nesty.
MVP,
Why must you always
please.
complain about the balance?
It's like he's playing Zerg. He has no intention whatsoever about actually giving any strategical depth into discussions. He's like, I play Zerg.
No,
I
of
don't
course
care.
not. No, he's just going to complain about it. Why? Yeah, well, whatever. It doesn't really matter too much. Focus on the game, folks, which we are now bringing you. It is on Terminus Re. So I bring you Soke. He is in the yellow trunks. He is playing Protoss to the east. This particular map versus his opponent, Meaty Owl Legs, also known as DDE.
It's like Naniwa. I'm like, hey.
Hey, Naniwa, what are you doing playing Terran?
Hey, what are you doing?
That account was created as a tribute to Naniwa, folks. So there you go. That is DDE. He is in the red trunks, and he is playing Terran to the north.
And big macro map.
It's rather large.
Very big map here. Probably definitely the largest map.
Very decisive, Apollo. Thank you for your
Definitely.
analysis.
Largest map in the map pool. I was trying to think, is there a larger map in the map pool? And I was like, wait a minute, is there a larger map anyway?
Yeah,
No.
well, unless you count that 8-player map, but I don't think that really does count.
No. But got a nice and big map, so wouldn't be surprised to see like 13, maybe even 14 gateway, to be honest. You can really get away with it on big maps like this. It is going to be 13, though. Actually, no, that's 12. Hold on. Why would you do that? Why would you do that, Soke? You have a reason. Every pro player has a reason for their own moves. It's not a mistake. It's never a mistake.
No.
And unless you're TLO and you forget Stim. LOL.
Well, I don't, you know, that was a mistake of the build order. That's not him just forgetting to build it, though, surely.
I know. He actually forgot to build it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go, then. I suppose that is a mistake. Whatever the case, it happens.
So this is intriguing.
Sometimes.
I mean, Soke did lose the game. This was his map choice. And he decides to go 12 gate. What are you planning, good
What
sir?
does it mean, sir? What does it mean? Tell me. Tell me.
And he knows that DDE's style is very passive and macro-based. What
Does she
this
really,
mean?
Apollo? Yes.
Soke, what are you planning?
What would you deduce from this?
I don't know. He's got 2 in gas, though, so it's like everything I just said it doesn't make sense.
Okay.
So, I don't know. I don't know what he's trying. I mean, he could definitely 4-gate right now. Most definitely can do against this 1 barracks Expo. And Expo on the lower ground as well. Definitely could do that. But he's only got 2 in gas. And Soke's not a player to make mistakes like that. So he's definitely going to go ahead and
he isn't.
just expand himself. It's fine. It's fine if you don't want to play aggressive. It's fine. It's fine.
It's Terminus.
He's
He
not
doesn't
going to
wanna
get
play
Zealot.
aggressive.
He's not going to get Stalker. It's fine.
Yep. Down goes the next score.
I would have 4-gated.
You're evil, though. I see you on ladder playing random. You're a cheeser. You get Protoss and you 4-gate.
I get when I play random and I get Protoss, I 11-gate 4-gate. That's how cheesy I am.
That's Korean-style 4-gate,
You have to scout early because I'm playing random, and all of a sudden I go 11-gate 4-gate. It's my abuse. It's the only reason I'm like kind of decently ranked.
Well, we'll
on
ignore the fact that
Masters.
you actually lost when I watched you do that last night, but there you
That's
go. Never
true.
mind. You were. That's true. Well, bunker on the way up right here for DDE. Wants to be nice and defensive. A little bit concerned, no doubt, because, of course, he has no idea what his opponent is doing. He hasn't scouted yet. So it's like, oh, well, it could be a 4-gate. It could be some kind of early 3-gate pressure or something like that. So I've got to do something about that. A bunker will suffice.
Very early double gas from DDE over here. Very early here.
Yep.
Which kind of means one thing, is he's going to go 2 barracks into factory. And then, excuse me, I'm still sick. And then go into a factory and start pumping out these medivacs nice and early for some multi-prone attacks, I suppose. I guess he still can do a couple of variations, but that's the best kind of pathway to come through here.
Seems to be.
There goes that factory. Meanwhile, in the base of Soke, 1-gate Robo. That's pretty. If he goes like Colossus again, DDE's gonna fist pump. He's gonna say, "I got my factory. I'm a double factory."
I'm ready for that this time.
A double factory.
Yeah,
pretty crazy.
I will too. I'm going to build Hellions to counter your Colossus.
It's pretty crazy. Is he going to go, like, I don't know. He can... I don't think Blue Flame Hellions is the best choice to go down. It's definitely got to be siege tanks.
Well, he's not going to get Blue Flame Hellions simply because he's got 2 gas there already. There's no point.
Yeah, I mean, the upgrades cost 150 and stuff. Well, actually, he could go Marauder Hellion. I'm looking at this now. He's got 2 Tech Labs. Oh, nice. Okay, that's what he's going to do. Okay, so he's going to come back over now. He's going to switch up, and he's going to go for like a 2-factory timing attack with siege tanks and ground units.
Okay.
And that's going to completely smash down these Colossus, I feel. And let's have a look. 1 factory goes on.
Assuming there are any Colossus.
There is the first tank. I'm sure there's going to be Colossus. He's gone.
But the thing is, he's only on 2 gas, which is what makes me think maybe it's not.
Yeah, I mean, he should have taken his third by now. Good pointing out there, Totalbiscuit, when I'm looking at DDE. You're focusing on Sake. Excellent.
That's why we have 2 commentators.
And he's gone 4 gates now. So he's gone for, like, is that triple? No. Yes, no, okay. Just double Observer. I was going to say he's going triple Observer.
Tyler style.
Double. Double Observer, double gas taken at the same time on the natural now for Sake, but he did add on these additional 2 gateways first of all. So he can easily switch over to Colossus in a few seconds when he gets 200 gas, but it's just not going to be as fast as usual. But this double tank play is pretty cool. It is going to get scattered out though very, very easily here.
That's a Twilight Council.
From this Observer.
That's a Twilight Council. That could be DTs. That's 4 gas.
I don't know.
Maybe,
DTs
maybe not.
is a little bit too late. I mean, the standard engineering bay timing is 7 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's very, very, very late here. I think he's just going to go down a regular path. He loves Blink Stalkers. Could be like 6-7 gate Blink Stalkers. Could be Zealot Charge. He is getting an Immortal now because he's scattered out this double factory. He's scattered out the fact that we do have a lot of tanks here. And this is pretty cool. I like this build. We don't really see a lot of heavy tank play in this matchup, to be honest.
No, you don't. You usually don't, and that is intriguing one way or the other. So DDE was able to scan, and he did see the Twilight Council. He did not react by thinking, oh god, it's going to be DTs, because as I said, it probably isn't. It's most likely just going to be Blink or Charge play, or perhaps a little bit of both. The charge has started, and at the moment, Sake's army is not exactly what I'd call huge. There are 4 tanks on the way already and another 2. There is at least an Immortal coming out right there for Sake and a second Immortal to try and deal with those tanks. He knows what's coming. However,
he doesn't have enough.
No, it's a dangerous, dangerous little timing push that he's got coming on right here, which was this 2 barracks and 2 factory play. Intriguing maneuver. No air in that whatsoever. Here's the tank deployment and is able to get a good solid shot off right there. Nice and meaty. There we go. Force field play. And those Marines driven off to the side, but the tanks are getting plenty of good shots off here. That said, it was able to stop the Marines from getting at the Immortal.
Yeah, that was pretty good, actually. That's what you kind of need to do, but this is going to be tough. Zealot Charge is about to finish. That is going to help out, and he's got a lot of Zealots, 9 in total now. Another wave of gateway units is about to come in very, very shortly here off these 5 gateways. But if these bunkers go up, this is going to be so hard. Zealot Leg Charge gets nullified by these bunkers, basically, because you can't get surface area on bunkered Marines, right?
No, you can't do it.
This is going to be tough. And there's a lot of tanks here. Pretty interesting builds.
Yeah, it really, really is. Going a heavy tank style against Protoss is not exactly what I'd call common. Silly, usually because of Immortals, but it doesn't matter. With that much fire, you can melt Immortals really quickly. And good focus fire right there by DDE. However, the Zealots do make their way in, smash their way through the tanks, and that is a bit of a problem because it looks like DDE has nothing left to stop this, and the contain is broken right there by Sake.
Yeah, really nice play by Sake. It goes in before the bunkers really finish up. No units in the bunkers. If they had gone in, that would have been hurtful, to say the least. And excellent play. He can basically go on a counter-attack now, to be honest, because that was a lot of pain. Tanks are very gas-intensive. They're very slow to build. He may not be able to go through because of defensive tanks on higher ground, but he does have an Observer, so he will be able to target them down with the Immortal very, very easily.
Yep, he does have 2 Immortals up. He's only taken 1 because the other one was incredibly badly damaged by the looks of it, and that's exactly what he went for. It only takes 4 shots, ladies and gentlemen. Would take 3 if he had an upgrade, but 4 otherwise. Smashes his way through that, and another tank goes up, but of course that could be target fired. Socket trying to make his way through there. The Immortal eats that tank for breakfast.
The sentry's in the way. No! Out the way! Thank you.
If only it had the 1.4 range upgrade, but that is Sake smashing his way through DDE after breaking what would have been a ridiculously hard contain by landing at just the right time. And that is the mark of a pro player, ladies and gentlemen. DDE with a Hellion out. It's already picked up 3 kills. There's a 4th. And it's SCVs versus Immortals. But it doesn't matter. DDE, GGG, ladies and gentlemen. And the 3rd game in the best of 7 series does go to Sake.
Sake wins.